Yo, it's actually been 3 months since I last filmed a video, and I'm I don't even know what the proper etiquette is to come back, and I don't even know what it is like to film a YouTube video anymore. Literally, I have no clue. We are almost at 700 subscribers. Like, I think we're like at 600 plus, which is pretty amazing, guys. Thank you so much. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, keep subscribing, or subscribe to my channel. What is my channel about? Basically, like, maybe like, it's all encompassing. So lifestyle content, educational content, makeup content. I have so much. I feel like I have a bit of everything. Literally, the channel is my life, and I am not one. I don't exhibit just one character. I exhibit a myriad of characters, so that's what my channel is going to embody. Subscribe. Let's get into what I'll be talking about in this video, because I feel like I'm just talking too much. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about things that you should know before renting a house in Lagos. These are things that I experienced. These are also things that my friends experience. So it's not just my experience. I'm going to tell you guys like the 10 things, or at least I'm going to give you guys a good number, because let's not say 10 now, because we don't know how long this video is going to be, and I don't know how long I'm going to be rambling for. But yeah, 10 things that you should know before you are looking for a house, or before you start looking for a house in Lagos, or before you rent a house in Lagos. So if you want to see, I've written down a list of stuff, so I'm just going to be going through the list so that I don't ramble on this video. And I'm also going to be applying my makeup as well, so I'm doing something with my hands. I'm not just sitting down here and talking. But yeah, I'm going to tell you guys what you need to know, and if you want to hear those things, then please continue watching. My first thing to know when you are renting a house in Lagos is that you get an agent, because if you try to do it by yourself, I'm not saying that you can't do it by yourself, but Lagos is too stressful, in my opinion, for you to be going around and looking for houses that are available for rent. You need somebody who's in the business. You need someone that is in real estate to find you. Obviously, just give them your specs, tell them like what you're looking for, or like what you want to do, or the kind of house that you want to rent, and let them do the searching for you, and all you're just going to do is come and look for the house. Also, I cannot stress how important it is for you to have multiple agents. I think that a big mistake too is like people find that one agent that they have, and like that's it. Like they use that one agent that they have, and instead of going around and having like multiple agents that go around and search for new houses for them, they stick to their one agent, and they wait to find out like, oh, like maybe when the agent has a house available that fits maybe like 20% or 60% of the specs that they gave to the agent before they come and search a house. I would recommend that you get more than one agent. In fact, I feel like low key, high key, I cannot stress how important it is for you to get multiple agents. It's something that quickly comes to mind is this agent. There's some agents that require you to pay an inspection fee before you see a house, or tell you to pay like a retainer fee so that they can show you houses, and most of the time they end up showing you like stupid houses, and then they tell you that they take it out of the agency fee when you get the house, and you probably don't get any house. And most of the agents do that. I don't know, I think maybe it's something that they're all doing now, so that it's, I don't know, it's a ridiculous thing that they do, like make you pay and most of the time the fee can be like 10,000, 5,000, 7,000. It's great if you can find an agent where you don't have to pay all that money, because all the agents that I paid when I was looking for a house, trash people. None of them found me a house. In fact, how I found my house was really, really, literally, it was God that helped me find my house. But I'm just telling you now that they will try to steal your money. They will try to collect your money from you, and all of them, they will all tell you that they're going to find the house, that they're going to continue to look for the house for you. Do you know how many 7K I paid at that time when I was looking for my own house. Don't listen to them, they're all liars. If you will be able to find like agents that don't pay, they're not going to ask you for any money. At least minimum have like 2 or 3 agents. So I guess maybe save like 15,000 naira, because depending on the agent that you want, if you feel like you trust them and you're willing to pay the money and you feel like they're going to get you the house of your dreams, then I guess pay them the money. But when I paid, I felt like it was a waste of money. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you want to pay, pay. If you don't want to pay. My second tip is that irrespective of how many agents you have, like I mentioned in the first tip, that's like, you know, having multiple agents, irrespective of how many agents you have, let me tell you, do not look at more than 20, I mean less than 20 houses. Y'all, let me tell you, houses in Lagos are the ghetto. Let me tell you, they will bring you to a place and they will tell you that it's a nice location, but it's the hood. I mean, except if that's where you're looking for your house. But even then, like most of the houses are extremely ghetto. And when I mean ghetto, I don't mean like ghetto in the like hood sense too. I mean like ghetto in the like showing you trash for your money. Like you'd be paying a ridiculous amount. You'd come to a space, maybe you're looking for a 2-bedroom, maybe your budget, which most of the time your budget is really fantastic. Maybe your budget is like, you know, 2 million, 1.8 million. You're looking for a 2-bedroom, and then they'll bring you to a space that you guys, I've experienced so much, and I'm just telling you that you should never ever settle, and it is important for you to not look at like anything like less than 20 houses. I promise you. I'm not saying that you can't like have the house. Maybe if you find like 1 or 2 houses that you like, actually that's a lie. You cannot look for a house in Lagos and like your first 2 houses. That's insane. In fact, no. Don't look at anything less than 20 houses if you're looking for a house in Lagos. I know it sounds extreme and ridiculous, but this is what it is. Don't. And if you like a house, the first time that you look at it, it might feel like the house of your dreams, but you should always go back and look at it again, because most of the time it's like you don't see the things, because the agents are always talking to you. They're always talking you through the house. They're always trying to sell the house to you that, oh, is this, is that, is this, is that. And even you, sometimes you see how disgusting the house is, but you now be making accommodations in your head that, oh, I can do this, oh, I can live with this. Let me tell you, anything that is not fixed, nobody's going to fix it. Is either you're going to use your money to fix it, or don't look at anything less than 20 houses, because you pay for it. That's what I'm saying. You pay for it. I feel like this is going to be one of my most important tips, and one of the most important things I'm going to tell you guys is to dress appropriately. Like the older generation, which your landlord's probably going to be, because I mean the people that own houses now in Nigeria or Lagos are like the older generation, like people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, around that area. Like, I mean, except you happen to have a young landlord, then that's fantastic, but you don't know. None of us know. Like, you know, the probability of your landlord being young is very, very tiny. So just prepare for the worst is what I'm saying. And yeah, so I'm saying, because like the majority of that demographic of Nigerians are conservative, they are judgmental, they all have those like biases, but sometimes I don't really blame them, because that's how they grew up and that's what the country was before now. And obviously like our generation is more open to a lot of things, and we're open to a lot of, you know, changes, and we're open to, you know, dreadlocks and, you know, ripped jeans and, you know, shorts showing your bum and like all that. So I strongly advise that if you are going to look for a house in Lagos, that you dress appropriately. Let me tell you. Do you know, especially if you're female, you don't want to be looking for a house and automatically be tagged like an ashero, because most of the people are really, really judgmental. You might not be one, but if immediately, like if they catch you and if they not even they catch you, like if they look at you up and down and they like, you know, scan what you're wearing, they're like, oh no, I don't want this one, so I'm going to be bringing all these people to my house, or someone's going to be doing this or doing that. So they already have like all these biases, and honestly, you don't want to go there and, you know, there's a low chance they're going to get this space. I've seen so many people like lose houses because of like what they were wearing. Maybe the landlord saw them and know that, no, this is not the kind of person I want living in my house. I don't want an ashawo living in my house. And they don't even say it, like sometimes they don't say it explicitly. Sometimes they just tell their agent, and then their agent will lie to you and tell you that also when else are you taking this space. But it's a lie. It's just because of how you dressed to see the house. So I advise that if you're going to go and see a new house, or if you're going to go and see a new space, dress appropriately. I feel like a good outfit would be maybe jeans and a t-shirt. That's what I used to wear for like most of my viewings. Or I would wear like in fact most of the time, like that I was going to see houses, I was coming back from work, so I was always dressed corporately, because I also know that that's the kind of tenants that my landlords were looking for. They're looking for someone that has a 9 to 5. They most of the time they don't want people that are like entrepreneurs or don't have like a steady income, because they also understand that the economy is really bad. So they're looking for someone that can continue to pay their rent, basically. So that's my advice. You should maybe if you can dress corporately, that would be fine too, but obviously cover your body, like don't go to see them exposing anything, because they will already come up with, you don't need to tell them. In fact, they are judging you from like when they're seeing you. So your agent might say, oh, like you might say that, oh, this is the best house for you, and then your agent will be like, oh, let's go and speak to the landlord, and then you go to the landlord, maybe because you wore shorts, or maybe because you wore spaghetti hands. You might not even be exposing anything, but they might just feel like, oh no, I don't want this one living in my house. So my advice to you, dress appropriately to your viewing. My fourth tip is a really, really juicy one. If the house is not completed, don't drop any money. You guys, I'll talk about my scam stories in another video, but don't make any down payments for an incomplete house except you're extremely sure. So something that these people do, which I think is, you know, really weird, and sometimes the agents don't even like have your interest at heart, because they're just trying to like make it like a quick buck. So sometimes it might not even be the fault of the agent. They might not actually know, which is weird, because I don't know why. Don't ever make a payment for a house that is not completed. So for instance, if you come to a house and like they're still building the house, but you can see what the house can become or what it can turn into. I mean, I feel like, except you're buying the house, but if you're renting the house and like maybe it's uncompleted, and they tell you like, oh, drop the money now, in 2 weeks the house will be done, or in 3 weeks the house will be done, people are rushing it. Don't listen to them. Don't believe. And do you know what? Because like, do you know, sometimes people might actually be rushing the house. That's what I'm saying, that you should be really, really sure of the person that you are renting the house from, or you should be really, really sure of the people who your agent is, and maybe the caretaker of the house, or who is in charge of the house, or who is managing the house, essentially. Because you guys, my own is like 3, you know when they say like once beaten, like 2 times shy, my own is like 3 times beaten, forever shy, because it does not happen to me. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. I've fallen for multiple scams, but I don't know, what does that even say about me though? Like, does it say like stingy or greedy? Like, I feel like it's only greedy people, but it's not only greedy people that fall for scams. But I mean, if it happens to you 1 time or 2 times or 3 times, does it not say so much about you? I feel like it says something about you. So I don't know what it says about me, that I keep falling for scams. Don't know, like dumb. I mean, not recently, but at least 3-4 years ago. Yo. But yeah, if the house is not completed, don't drop any money. Don't. You guys, I can't stress it enough. Don't drop any money. If they tell you to drop money, tell them that you're sure of the house. Maybe you can give them documents proving that you can afford the house, but don't drop any money. Don't drop any money. don't drop any money. Wait for the house to be ready and then pay and pack it. Another thing that you need to know before you rent a house is to figure out like what your landlord slash landlady's rules might be. Some of them will tell you upfront, but some might not. So I suggest that you find out from your landlady, like when you're moving in, maybe she accepts or he accepts you and it's like okay, like it's cool that you can move into the house. Ask them what their rules are, especially if you have a landlord or landlady that lives in the house with you. So maybe if you're renting like the mini flat at the back or the 2 bedroom at the back, and then the landlady or the landlord lives in the front, or all that kind of scenarios or all that kind of situations. So you need to find out, or maybe you're going to be taking like downstairs and your landlord or landlady lives upstairs. They may have a few like rules or regulations that find out what they are before you move into the house, because you don't want to be caught unawares, and figure out if those you can live by those rules and regulations before you move in, because some of them be crazy. So I've kind of lost count. I don't know what number of tip I am yet or where I am, but anyway, this is one of the most important tips that anybody is going to tell you about when you're getting a house in Lagos. Is I advise that you only look for houses in Lagos during the rainy season. I know it sounds weird. If you are living in your friend's space now and it's like during the dry season, like there's no rain, it's just the sun, that's not the best time for you to get a house. I'm not joking. In fact, that's the worst time to get a house, because there's no rain, everywhere is dry, the gutters are dry, depending on where you are or where you live. Me, where I live, the gutter is never dry, but depending on where you live, the gutters are dry, like everywhere is dry. There is no you're not having any water problems, there's no flooding problems, there's no drainage problems. So you don't know, because actually there's nothing that goes in the drainage at that time, because it's not raining and all that. So I advise that you only look for houses in Lagos specifically when during rainy seasons, basically. So when you can notice like if the area that you're living is flooding, if you can even come out of your house. Like the last house that I got, literally the beginning of my street, where I used to live before I moved here, the beginning of my street was the only place that when it rained that you could pass, and my house was the first house on the street, so it was at the beginning of the street. So if I walk out, if I pass through like the bushes, well, not the bushes, but like this side of my house, then I can get to the other side of the road and walk down. But the other people that were living down the street or in the middle of the street, it was worse for people that were living in the middle of the street. Literally, they could not walk to the end of the street. They had to drive or get like transport to come and pick them from the front of the house for them to walk to the end of the street. So I'm just telling you guys that right now. That was something that I did not know when I was moving in, because when I got the house, it was not raining. It wasn't raining season. I didn't have those problems when I was living, like when I moved in, and even for the first few months when I was living there until it started raining. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. The flooding can be mad. Especially even when you have a car. If your car is a low car, then there is a high probability that there's going to be a lot of water damage on your car, like affecting like the AC, the engine, all that. So I'm telling you guys right now, look for a house during the dry season, during the rainy season. In fact, sometimes when you even go and check the house, you will see like water on the walls. Like sometimes the water enters into the house and you would see the water like lines on the walls of like when the water was in the house and there was still water from like the rain that came into your house. I don't know if you watch or if you're on Twitter or you're on social media and you see like when they talk about rainy season, and when they talk about like when you're living on the island, you're basically like living on the sea or living on the water. That's actually how it is. It's funny, it's jokes, but people have like their life's work ruined, their certificates, their documents ruined because of the rain, and because the rain got into their house, their fridge, their appliances, their electricals, so many things like ruined because of the rainy season. So if you're looking for a house in Lagos, I advise that you only check for your house like during the rainy season. That way you're getting bang for your buck, and you're getting, and you're not, like, you know that when you're getting the house, at least like when it's raining, or if you got the house when it was raining, then you know for sure that during the dry season the house is going to, you know, let up and can take all that heat that comes with the rain. When I mean heat, I mean like water and flooding and bad drainage system and like bad gutters and like bad everything, because let's not even go into like what our government is doing. Another tip for like when you're renting a house in Lagos is that it's important for you to know that different areas have like different like agency prices. So Lagos basically is kind of divided into like the mainland, the island, and like outskirts. The pricing, obviously the pricing for houses and flats are different, but also like the agency prices, so how agents price. So I'm just telling you this depending on where you are going to get a house, so that the agents don't trick you and like maybe get you to pay more than you should because they know that you don't know how it works. So for instance, if you live on the mainland, or if you live on the mainland, most of them have a flat rate. So if you're trying to get a house, they can be like, oh, if you're getting a house, irrespective of how much the house is, you're going to pay a flat rate for agency fee. But on the island it's percentage, so you might get like 10% legal, 10% agency. So for instance, if your house is 1.2 million, 10% of 1.2 million is 120,000. So 120,000 is how much you're going to pay for your agency fee. And maybe even if they split it and they say like 5 maybe 5% agent, 5% legal, it means you're going to pay 60,000 naira for agency, 60,000 naira for legal. And then maybe you have a caution fee as well. Your house comes with a caution fee. Not all houses come with caution fee, or they make you pay caution fee, but most of them do. So you have to pay like all those charges, pay all that money. So yeah, those things are also kind of important, so you have to remember those things and understand that like they all charge like different prices. So if you're looking for a house in the mainland, just know that most of the time it's a flat rate, and you should ask around, ask around the area, figure out, ask people that are renting if you are going to see the house, or you're trying to view the house and there are neighbors in the house. So maybe it's like a block of flats or like stories, and there are other people living in the same compound as you. You should ask them like what the landlord asks for. Ask them what, if you can even ask them like what their rent is, if they are willing to give you that information. Ask them what the caution fees, how much the like legal fees were, and all that. When you're getting there, was it a standard rate, was it like a flat rate, or was it a percentage? Was it were they paying, was it a percentage of the rent, or was it like a percent of the rent basically? So you should ask them. Be very open. I feel like it's really important for you to ask questions, especially like when you're trying to get a house in Lagos, like, because you can never know too much. So ask questions, ask them, and if they divulge that information, then you know. So even if you are on the mainland and they're asking for a percentage, and you know that everyone in that building paid a percentage and not a flat rate, then you know. And if they pay a flat rate, you should ask what the flat rate is. And you should also take into consideration like inflation, dollar, all those things that they always say affects prices. So those things you should also take them into consideration too when you're trying to figure out if your agent is cheating you or not. But yeah. So another tip is that when you're going to check for a place, or when you're looking for a house in Lagos, check the water. So most of, if you're looking for a house on the mainland, you probably don't need to check the water. But if you're looking for a house on the island, let me tell you, open all the taps, check the water, make sure that the taps are running, make sure that the kind of water that's coming out, do you get treatment for your water if the water is brown? Because there's a high probability that your water is going to be brown, except you're getting a house in an estate where they have like a water treatment plant, and they really like filter the water and save the water, and they give you the best possible water. But if you don't live in an estate like that, or if you're not looking for a house in an estate like that, then your water is probably brown. It probably destroys your utensils, your drainage system, your plumbing system. The water can be really horrible, guys. It can be really horrible. So I'm just advising you now that if you're looking for a house in Lagos, then you should always check the water, especially if you're a house on the island. Okay, yeah guys, so we have come to the end of the video. I hope you guys liked this, and I hope some of these tips will help you guys when you're looking for a house. in Lagos, Nigeria. If you are looking for more specific things, or if you have more contribution as well, so maybe there are things that you experience when you're looking for a house in Lagos, please put them in the description box down below. I'm sure you would help somebody out in the comments. Or if there's something that you want more clarity on, put it in the description box down below as well. And I always respond to all the comments. Literally, how many comments do I get? So I respond to all of them. So if you comment down below, I will definitely respond. Yeah, thank you guys so much for staying with me till the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. I dropped my crystals in the pool.